This material has been reproduced and communicated to you by or on behalf of the Australian National University in accordance with Section 113P of the Copyright Act 1968. The material in this communication may be subject to copyright under the Act. Any further reproduction or communication of this material by you must be consistent with the provisions of the Act. Do not reproduce this material. Do not remove this notice.
Such a result. So even it's on Sunday, I would announce it on Sunday, yeah? Just in case, right? If you can't wait, all right? So this is the agenda for us. Today we're going to do a little bit of revision and then you're going to go through some of course learning outcomes relating to this. And you're going to be exposed to backgrounds and motivation for system development, why this particular knowledge might be of use to you, all right? And then you're going to learn one particular method or approaches, a particular method or approach for system development. There are many approaches or strategies to system development, but we're just going to discuss the traditional one. The rest of the methods will be discussed in detail in other courses that are more specific to project management. Make sense? All right? I don't have to cover all. Yeah. Software selections. We're going to talk about software selection for SME, small, medium enterprise. And also the one particular slide will be dedicated to system development governance and several will be for challenges. Yeah. Thank you for coming. I know it's hard. I almost cannot get up myself. And then I remember it's week 10. You can do this. So this is actually the second last topic for us. Next week will be the last topic. Week 12, we're just going to discuss about final exam, format, question, type of questions, and etc. So it's going to be very laid back on week 12. You don't feel like you need to drag yourself to class because next week is the last topic for us, intensive topic, okay? So first question, the finalization of budgets is an interactive process involving both senior management and operational staff. True? Is this what you experience, Kanya, at work? They ask you? Yeah, this is simply showing that your company has a good practice. Yeah? Sometimes they don't even tell you. They set for you. Right? Yeah. But you must have a basis to set up a budget for anyone. How are you going to develop a basis for budget? How are you going to find that information? Do you set up budget for you monthly? How do you, okay, senior, all right. There's no need for you to budget. Okay. The rest, who's budgeting, how do you know that you need this amount of money this month? Yes, that's exactly what you do when you are literally new and being asked to do budgeting for maybe the whole department or the whole company. You pull out the historical data about the previous expenditure. Yeah? All right. It will be a very good starting point for you. Before you can also ask for user feedback. Yeah. The computer gives a warning message when budget estimate significantly varies from last year's budget. This is an example of controlling fraud. True or false? False. Why is that? Why do you think it's not controlling for fraud? Sorry? Is it Jane? Yes. Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, if I can polish on the answer, how many of us has crossed our budgets before? Does it meaning that it's not, it's something that intentional? Sometimes it's not intentional. So fraud is intentional. Yeah, illegal activities that intended and have been, what we call that, they have planned for it, they have designed for it. Sometimes when you cross a budget, this significantly shows that you're not effective in managing your budget, and that's all. It's not a strong evidence to suggest fraud. Yeah, all right. So budget flagging system in budget is only be able to remind you that you almost crossing your budget and that's it. But if you did cross your budget, then it's not really something that we would say that you have fraud intention. Yeah, there are 3 fraud intention which probably we're going to cover next week. So if you are interested in that, I'm probably going to elaborate on that as well. So how do we know that when someone is actually intended to commit fraud? So there are certain criteria that we can use to assess them, all right? Are you interested, Reese, knowing that? Are you interested in knowing that? So you took that already, all right? That will be your area of expertise then. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, sorry, I just put that. Yeah, why is it true statement? You right, Erling? Right. Tough week for everybody apparently. Why is it XBRL does not prevent unauthorized distribution? What does XBRL do? I hear voice. Sorry? Can you remind me your name again? Eugene. Okay, sorry. I got ringing in my ear. Sorry, Eugene. Go ahead. Okay, all right. So it's just a standard business reporting apps, okay, or API. So it's not, if it's not customized into your ERP, saying that only these certain people can receive this report, then it would not do anything. Yeah, its role is only to map out your data, accounting data, to another format of reporting, and that's it. Yeah, in terms of security, you have to establish yourself inside your computer system, right? Reporting incorrect data is the only risk attached to producing financial reports. How do you feel about that? There are so many other risks that will be attached to financial reports. Yeah. Hash totals can be used to reduce the risk of incomplete and inaccurate data during data extraction and validation in the process of updating general ledger. True or false? What is hash total first? Hash total is when you use meaningless number. It could be your uni ID. It could be invoice number. Yeah, we're not really looking at the amount. We're just looking at the sequence probably. Yeah, it could be in the interval of 10 or interval of 50. So we want to see all the numbers are in. Yeah, simply like that, hash total. Is it true or false? Not sure? Sometimes I do that for you as well. For your for your SAP user ID, I estimate this class would have about 30 students. But then I look at the sequence of the SAP user ID, missing one or extra one. So this is when I go and zoom into detail. Where is this problem coming from? You get what I'm saying? So if anyone requests additional number, I was like, I already allocate you this number, so I go back to that specific interval of number. You see what I mean? So because I allocate according to the tutorial room. Okay. So these are the learning outcomes for today. All right. This is about system developments and the associated risks attached to the system development. And system development is kind of projects related to IT or information system improvement. All right. What is the difference between information system and information technology? What does your instinct say? Are they the same or are they different? And if they are different, how so? All right. Oh, all right. Okay. Anyone else want to add to Sinyang's answer? No? So you're all using devices. Is that information system or is that technology? Your device now. Except Riz. She's going manual today. So your device, is it technology or information system? Technology. But what all the apps that you install inside there, that will be information system. Do you see the difference? Information technology is a tool. Yeah? Right? So information system is the umbrella term. And information technology is a subset of that term. And it's only a tool. Yeah? Information system refers to the combination of people, processes, and technology used to collect, store, manage, and analyze data. So you yourself, with your device, with all the apps inside there, how you systematically recording this lecture or store the notes, lecture notes into it, or also do your assignment is the whole information system for you. So now, as a whole organization, how they work together, installing, storing, and manipulating and managing the data, this is information system for that particular institution. Yeah, the difference is now you are working as a unit. Information technology focuses on the technical infrastructure, including computing hardware, network, and software applications. Yeah? So IT, professional, develop, maintain, and secure technology that supports information system. So this is the evolution of IT and IS in organizations. We're not going to go through detail because I have talked about this in week 2, if I'm not mistaken. So initially, you can see how it's been progressed since mid-1960. Has anyone been born in 1960? What about your parents? I won't expect you guys to be in this class if you were born in 1960, right? What about your grandparents, maybe? Yeah, parents maybe around 1970s and 1980s. So in 1980s, this is when system become more critical to business operation. They started understand the fact that investing early, maybe putting a bit of investment in the IT or information system, then they can obtain that competitive advantage. But only few can do this at that time because it can be very, very expensive due to the lack of supplies and also talents. Yeah. When we go to the fourth era in 1990s, this is interesting. Yeah, this is really interesting era. We have experienced so much in 1990s. This is the internet age. Yeah, so I was there. I was there when we haven't had internet, and then internet comes, and everyone got so hyped over it, and we started using internet. But we still do not have Google. We don't do search like you now on the internet. We go to the library and search the books. So sad. All the books on the floor. Yeah? And then when internet comes, we do not know how to use computer. Now we need to know how to operate the computer. And this during my teenage years. Okay? So now you have escalate to smartphone. And before, there's no touch screen. Can you imagine no touch screen? It was just Eugene I cannot imagine there's no touch screen. You know, I had a son of my friend came to the house trying to touch screen everything. Not everything touch screen, I told him. They're so used to this technology, they thought it's quite normal. Yeah, at that time, no touch screen, and the TV quite bulk. It's a bit box of TV and also computer. Only towards 2000, they started doing flat screen, yeah, for convenience, yeah. So now we are the cloud technology. Everything is in the cloud, okay? Big data and machine learning. This is considered the fifth era. It's actually, if you click on that, we will bring you to the right article, but I just realized I have another slide on top of this, so you won't be able to read that, yeah? But you can read at the bottom of this. If anyone interested in reading this article, let me know. So until today, man had to walk toward the machine with effort to fit precisely. On the contrary, tomorrow, the machine itself will come to follow the order issued by man. And this is the vision in 1980. And you now experience the vision from someone in 1980. But they have started working on this in 1960. But it was very slow, and it started in the US, but it was very slow because they did not have the funding. And then Japan picked that up. Japan picked that research, and because they have the government support, so they can actually do so much better than the US at that time. Yeah? All right. And now you don't have to walk to the machine. You are working with the machine. Yeah? Artificial intelligence. This is the sixth era. Some people argue this is an extension of the fifth era. It's not really going to the sixth era. I'm not sure really what's waiting for us in the sixth era. Probably quantum computing. Yeah. AI mimics human intelligence. AI mimics you. They are not intelligent than you. They mimics you. The way you think, the way you process information. That's why sometimes they are a bit confused. And we know when you use AI because you also confused like them. Yeah, in your writing. Yeah. Okay, the capability to produce artistic, creative tasks and other meaningful contexts, text, images, or audio using large set of training data. So they dump a lot of data to train the AI so that they can produce something that will be similar to human thinking. And the way we think can be very complex. The thing that they probably not be able to do now is using judgment. Appropriate judgment, because they are very logical. This is not the most logical thing to do, but I think I've been testing them, and I mean just drop something, question and prompt them. I can see that they are better than from where we start last time. Yeah. So you can click on that and read on the sixth era, and just in case you think AI is better than you, don't. Okay, you are so much better than AI. You train AI, not AI train you. Okay, all right. So, so this has been said. In today's competitive environment, information technology alignment and integration in enterprise serve as the most critical aspect in business. So a lot of us in businesses, we envision something more, but we can't have the right tools. Yeah, imagine this. You aim to be the best student, but you do not have the right support. Yeah, like they say that, Sarini, I want you to produce this and this tomorrow, but you haven't given me the right tools, the appropriate time limit. How am I going to deliver this? Just like your boss saying that I want it yesterday. How is that possible? Sometimes I say this to my tutor as well. I want it done yesterday. This means that I want it done now, like now. Yeah. So that's basically something that sort of what we call that, something that subtly said. Okay. So this is about IT and business alignment. These are the key areas of IT governance. So it's mentioned in the IT governance. Yeah? It's not something that I make up. And IT governance is part of corporate governance. It's necessary for the business to run effectively and smoothly. So it's all about having the right strategic alignment in whatever you bring in to the information system of the company or information technology, including that. It must has the quality that it will be able to deliver value. Whenever you bring some new technology and nobody use it, it has no value to everyone in that company. So everyone must be ready to pick it up and use it, all right? And this is about resource, risk, performance, and IT investment management and information governance, all right? It will enable the organization to perform well when the appropriate structures or infrastructure are used to supervise the deployment and effective management, yeah, for these aligned tasks, right? Something that must exist before we get that strategic IT and business alignment, the fact that business team or business section must have an agreement with the IT functions. So we realize that IT function or staff do not understand the need of people at the application level. We wanted certain things done, but they make it harder for us. Yeah? Have you experienced that? I used to work with IBM. They use what we call black screen. It's actually the mainstream, yeah? So they don't care about making it nice, all black. And then everything, all the words and text come out in green. If you have disability, or limitation whatsoever regarding your visual, you can't work there. They're not thinking this ahead. If they can improve that screen, they only make it white, the text in white. Yeah. So the worst thing about that black screen, we have to code into it. It's not really click here, click there. It's coding. Even to enter, we have to code. And it's different from ENTER. It's specific code to enter. So you have to memorize all that coding. This is to show you IT staff is not really talking to the users. Yeah. So for us to have that strategic IT business alignment, it made our life miserable. Yeah, during that period. All right. So it's not really making it smooth and efficient if you do not have this shared understanding, yeah, between the business and IT functions. IT functions must be able to translate what the business section needs, okay? And you must have the appropriate governance mechanism, even if you have the right tool, the best tool. But if you do not have a proper governance mechanism to make sure that it's consistently working as intended, then nothing will last forever. The quality will not last forever, and talents will go. If the right talent go, you will have to train the new talent, which not necessarily would have the similar working ethics. Make sense? Yeah? So you need to have a governance. They might not have the similar level of competency. They would not have the similar level of ethics, which can be very, very frustrating sometimes, yeah? You know this, working with the new people, yeah? All right. Enterprise architecture maturity, if you have this, it will actually speed up the whole thing. But some people, some company might not have these perks, so they have to start slow. But a lot of ERP now are very advanced, even though for small company, yeah? It's just the new way of doing business, yeah? If you have clear strategic direction, what, why, and how, and it has been communicated and cascaded down properly, it will be very easy. Remember when I mentioned you about Toyota, how efficient it is everybody just to achieve that specific goal and deliver that goal, yeah, for the company. And what probably been emphasized recently through COVID 2019 is probably to have a desensitive link between IT and business. COVID literally shake everyone, but COVID 2019 was finalized before COVID. but they already understand the need for them to have a more flexible link between business and IT. Before COVID, nobody knows that we actually can work from anywhere and we can buy from anywhere. Okay, fine, online shopping already existed before COVID, but some of us still refuse to use online shopping, yeah, until COVID forced us to do it. It just shows you there are a lot of things that can be done, and if you view the infrastructure as something to facilitate users, you will design the system better for all the employees and also users in that sense. Until COVID, if you request to work from home, how are they going to treat you? No way. It's no way. You can't work from home. They have trust issue. Yeah. But COVID shows us some of us are professional enough to work from anywhere. Yeah. So they realize that, oh, Siniang don't agree. You don't agree? You must work with someone that really, yeah. So I'm a teacher / researcher. I need a quiet time. So sometimes I could be looking somewhere in another location for 2-3 months to produce a good paper. But being an academic, it's very hard to get a quiet time. Like, I think this week is the only week I haven't received any panic email from you because you have submitted your work. And I'm probably going to receive it again on week 12 when you realize what will come out. I said, no email this week? Oh my goodness. Yeah, finally. You know, I try to support you in a way that every week I would tell you what will go about for us and what will come out. I pace you slowly, but I didn't expect it will be so efficient on week 10, no email whatsoever. All right? So this is to show you a lot of things can be done. Yeah? I know some of you do not agree. I understand that, but it takes a lot of education and training. You know, we are in charge of our own performance. If you simply take advantage what could be seen as a loophole in the procedures, you are not ready for professional job. You are not. You must respect the procedure and the system that been imposed on you. And then, for example, I used to work in one of the universities in Malaysia that do not practice clock-in system. For your information, most of universities do not use clock-in system. We do not have card. We have card, but only to access facilities, yeah, or infrastructures. But we don't clock in and out. And in Malaysia, we have universities that do that as well. Most of the universities in the world work this way because educators and researchers, they come in and out and they travel for work as well. So it's quite, it's just a costly thing to do, yeah? And a ridiculous thing to expect that they will clock in at 9 because sometimes I work 24 hours straight and then I sleep the next day and then I work again. It's when the idea kicks in, all right, basically. But what I'm trying to tell you, we had someone outside us that have experienced that system for the first time in their life, and they gone rogue. They gone rogue, like they went somewhere and they couldn't come to the meeting and to the class. So the basic rule, when you have such a trusting system, you must be available when you've been asked to come. You must fulfill your basic obligation. That is meaning coming to class when you have class, coming to the campus when you have meeting. Other than that, they don't care. They just want to see the results. Yeah, that means if you are expected to produce 3 papers, the 3 papers will come at the end of the year. That's all, based on the results. Yeah, but class, campus, commitment, meetings, you must be there. So that's the basic rule for trusting system in the academic. But those people, just abuse the system and it make it harder. Remember when I said misconduct will create more policy, and they created additional layer of policy just to screen these people, and it make other people's life miserable after that. Okay, this just to show you. Have you watched this show? It used to be on Netflix, but no longer. Yeah, it's an old show. It's I think they have a 90s setup. So 3 people in one IT department, 3 people in the IT for IT department to support the whole organization, and their manager do not know anything about computers or system. She even have virus in her laptop. Yeah, so the 2 staff that supporting her and the whole organization are 2 IT personnel who are very, very intelligent, but they realize that they have no value to the company. It's just showing you, regardless of their value, company cannot see during 1990s. Company do not appreciate them. They are there just to support, to make sure the computer works, and that's it. Yeah. So this will be very good show to show you that now how things change, how important their roles now, and not the way to treat the IT personnel. All right. So this is about the trend study done by this company, and it shows that, and it has been done every year consistently, and they found that consistently as well, alignment IT with the business has been the top 5. It's consistently an issue every single year, meaning to say business are struggling with this problem to get the right tools, to get the right infrastructure and system, so that it will align with the company strategic focus or strategy in a way that business strategy. Okay, so now we have other things that were that actually climbing up the rank, such as cybersecurity. Australia is huge in how to say, they constantly being hacked. Okay, so cybersecurity is their top concern now. Actually, they're hiring a lot in cybersecurity. They actually set up an agency called Hive, and they're calling all the new bright talents to go in. You can come in with zero knowledge, but they are willing to train you. So it's focusing on strengthening the security of data for Australia. All right. So it's based in Canberra, but I think for Canberra you have to be citizen. Okay. All right. Because there's a security clearance for something like that. But I want to say that IT is probably your future. Yeah, some of you think that this is not for me, but you know what? After a few months of training, I think you can do it. Yeah, it's pretty much could be a very interesting area as well. Okay. So agility and flexibility of IT re-entered the top 10 for organization after dropping out the top 10 last year, rising to 12 to 8 place, and for IT leaders increased from 8 to 7. So digital transformation, which last year rose in importance to 4th for organization remains. So saying that now because of the maybe new risks, certain things have become more important now. Yeah, or riding at the same importance with alignment of IT and organization. We're going to see how IT how IT leader and organization see the importance of all these requirements. You see that IT leader think that security should be number 1, but it's same organization agree with that, and alignment of IT with business also have been the top concern. But IT leader think that talent is necessary. Talents are necessary for this, so that they can have the better security and privacy mechanism and alignment with IT and business. But then organization rank data analytics and data management third. Yeah. So talents is not even there. So in this case, while organization play importance on data analytics, I think IT function are struggling. They are struggling about building that capacity and capability for the organization. Yeah, You can go to the LinkedIn. You can click on the IT analyst and etc. Data analyst. You will see that so many demands for that job. Yeah. All right. This is information technology that should receive more investment. This is done in 2021. I'm sure that it has improved since then. You can see that all this will be jumping here and there, but I will see that the top file will remain the same. All right. All right. Moving on. All right. You can read further on that. That's only about social criteria, how it influences IT and business alignment. Okay. So recent survey, while CIOs were the surprise pandemic hero and the force behind digital innovation, IT leaders spent the better part of the last year focused on the fundamentals from modernizing enterprise architecture to ensuring operational agile, resilience, and secure. Yeah. So during COVID, maybe we learn to appreciate IT staff and department better. Yeah, but some of you, if you are coming from very data intensive background or in departments, you realize that you also need to adapt with these changes. You also be part of the 4 stars that are planning the IT improvement for your company. Yeah. All right, this is the initiative that driving the IT investment in 2022 is much about increasing cybersecurity protection. Why do you think it's all about cybersecurity protection following COVID? Because the use of network and internet increased, yeah, during COVID, and it will increase the risk for the company, cyber-related risk for the company, and without a doubt, this should be their priority. And you know what? They thought that they would experience a lot of fraud-related activities coming from external. You know what happened? Research shows that most of the fraud activities coming from internal. No, employees are taking advantage of this remote working, which is consistent with Sin Yang thing, but it just shows that some of us do not understand professionalism, do not understand that, there's a saying, you don't destroy things that fit you. Yeah, it's about protecting this privilege. You've been given a privilege to work remotely. Why you destroy that? Yeah, some of you prefer to go to work. Do you? You can't even come to class. I doubt it. Yeah, you probably don't want to see anyone. Yeah. So those the years, yeah, people enjoy going to office, yeah. So this is the IS, Information System Project Success Criteria. You can look into this if you are someone that will be leading a team about system improvement or upgrade later, yeah. But it's just to show you what will be the most the criteria that will be relevant to information system project success. So on top of certainty, it must be measurable. If your staff cannot see how much they have progressed, they will stop. They do not know to what extent they have improved and to what extent that they need to put more work. This is something that will be relevant even for other projects. When I see this, I realize that if I found this earlier, I'm probably going to finish my PhD earlier. Yeah, because I forgot about this. I need to have measurable progress. Yeah, and I forgot to actually do this measurement. All right, and transparency. If you have a good transparent communication between all the teams involved, they would know what they need to do. They would know what are the tasks that they're accountable for. It's clear to them. You are in charge of this. You're in charge of this. This is your accountability. Everyone understand their role and responsibility. Yeah. If this is a high project value, for example, if you be given 2 projects, one is actually 5 million that will bring 5 million, another is 200,000. Which one that you're going to focus more? 5 million project. Because you receive more attention. So the more closer you associated with high value project, the more likely for you to work harder, and you will drive that success. Yeah. So you can look into this later. Okay. We're just going to talk about some of it. Okay. This is just to show you the success, challenge, and fail statistic, and you can see that successful up to 2015 only 29%. So consistently they perform at the same level from 2011. Yeah, and some of them saying that as year goes by, it become more challenging for them in the system development. But fail criteria, it's sort of reducing in 90%, but I believe that it will consistently stay the same. All right, this is in 2020. As you can see that success have increased, but the failed project remain the same percentage. Yeah, nothing have showing you we are dealing with the same problem over and over again. Whatever have been researched and applied, we still dealing with the new criteria. All right, so this is how to realize the benefits for the IT. It just number one, this is the principle. IT has no inherent value. This is a principle they always use. You know why? This is just showing you if you've been given the best tool, but you do not know how to use it or maximize it, then there's no use. Got it? Yeah? When I was a student in the university, we are still using projector at that time. You know projector? Yeah, Okanya, you experienced that? Oh yeah, there's a device here, not there, and they just slide transparent. It's not paper, just transparent plastic. Yeah, and lecture right on that plastic, and it will go and it will beam out that to students or to screen. Yeah, and they have to change that plastic every time for slides. Like slide changing, they have to change that. It's really manual. And when computer system come in, they do not know how to use the system. It takes a while, like probably 2-3 years, just to actually shift to computer system. How they survive? You must be thinking that. So we used to have a lot of assignments too, just not back to back. Because of the computer system, how you make it efficient for you to store and actually pull out and also process the data and information. That's why every course now drop assignment like crazy, because it's so much easier for you to do it now, quicker as well. Before they understood the manual aspect of it. So we could be dealing with like one assignment for one course, that's it. And then final exam. Yeah, you got? So we adapt as well, yeah? Right. So live, was it good? Live back then, yes. Less email, less messaging, less messages come to the phone, yeah? We don't have smartphone before. So this is about strategic value. You can read further on that. It's all about having the most robust process for the system development, all right? So we are now here. This is very not intensive. It's something that you always do. I believe when you see this, you realize that you have done this. Are you happy to continue, or you need a 5 minutes break? Voice? Any? Nothing? Continue? All right. Let me know when you need a break, okay? So system development is something that we always do from time to time. Even for you, don't you upgrade yourself sometimes? Makeover? Who's is planning for makeover? Yeah, that's it. I'm reaching 30. I'm going to reinvent myself. You are doing system upgrade, okay? Anyway, so company is doing upgrade as well, but there are certain things that will trigger you to do this upgrade. Yeah, even for your New Year's resolution, New Year will be your trigger, right? Or your birthday, when you hit 30, 40, that's the trigger. So for company, when it's possible that when there is a problem, or critical problems. We're going to cover that in the tutorial. Hopefully, I think I can remember the case now. Yeah. So it's either they see the opportunity which they cannot grab with the current system, then they would do the upgrade. Or there are so many problems with the current system which prevent you or the company to reach the goal, and that's when they would upgrade. All right. So classification wise, we go by this, even though this is just simply a benchmark, suggestion, recommendation, but you will see that it's not really looking like this everywhere. Okay, so for small, medium size, yeah, you probably earning about 5 to 50 million. So once you hit 50 million, 5 to 50 million is considered medium, but 5 million and below, then it's small. But then small company also, it will be divided between micro and small. Micro, that when you have less than 5, really 5 people working there, yeah. And then if you have 5 and 20, then it's considered small, right? Micro, really micro. You don't need a lot of people. So large corporation, that when you earn 50 million in the annual turnover, you have more than 200 employees, and most of the company probably have thousands of employees. Okay, so without having said that, a large corporation would need ERP, and medium-sized company now has adopted ERP, but with a medium capacity. Yeah, they do not need to engage all the features and criteria such as large corporation will require. All right, so yeah, so one size does not fit all. A firm with 10 million turnover and 50 employees may only need a simple package, and this is true statement. Do you know Warren Buffett? Did I say the name right? Buffett, yeah. Warren Buffett, only three staff. They have 3 staff in that company, but they earn more than every company combined in the New York Stock Exchange. When I ran the analysis, I realized that one particular sector tend to drag my result. So I start splitting according to the industry, and apparently it's coming from financial sector. So when I zoom into detail, this particular company, and I dig into that company, is Warren Buffett company. They have the least infrastructure, which means that their revenue over expenditure is so much lesser than everybody else. Yeah. It's huge proportion ratio, and then the amount of annual turnover is so huge, but they only maintain about 3 staff, and sometimes they don't even have infrastructure in some years. It distorts my result. So I pull out that company, put it aside, and start run the analysis again. This is how normal people get. They are exceptional, all right? So if you are a small startup, you probably don't need so much more unless you are doing everything. You probably want the most advanced ERP for you as a sole trader, okay? So this is a system development life cycle. This is one of the methods that projects have been used, and this is very traditional. It will be suitable for public sector, highly regulated industries, and I know some of the private companies would not prefer to use this anymore, yeah, because they are different, okay. But having said that, this is very traditional method. Represented stages will be very consistent with how public sector done their work, yeah. It provides a structured and well controlled, especially in terms of budget, in terms of approval workflow, which sometimes most people will be comfortable to work with. I tell you like this. For example, you are supposed to process payment. When it comes to you, you don't know whether this has been approved, and you're not comfortable to process it without those approval. So you are showing a structured perspective. Yeah, you want to have a systematic approval workflow, right? So in a managing large system development, to avoid things getting out of control, they adopt system development life cycle, SDLC. Some company with a very small number of consultants and their relationship with the clients are very close, they might prefer to adopt a different kind of approach because they don't have so many stakeholders that they need to address. Yeah, all right. So these are the 5 stages of SDLC: investigation, analysis, design, implementation, maintenance, and review. Once we go through this, you realize that you have been using this or you have done this even in another situation. Yeah. So it just shows that how applicable it is. Yeah. In the investigation stage, yeah, where you start with the SDLC, you see the problems or opportunities. And then the scope and the objective of the project will be defined, and the preliminary feasibility study is conducted. Yeah, this is where you do all the investigation. Does it worth it to upgrade? Is there any opportunity that you can tap into based on this upgrade? Yeah, so all those things will be done in this stage. Yeah, this is the explanation for it. Yeah, so factors that you will consider like speed, adequacy. How long can you wait now? If you click on something, how long can you wait now? Seconds? If goes more than a few seconds, are you happy with that? So this is about speed that you need to consider. So it's either like your smartphone, it's time to change. Yeah, because the operation system is no longer be able to support your lots of your photo going in. All right. So probably pixels need to be improved. Similarly, when we do work, when things too slow for us, something for you to consider. Yeah. Whether it's adequate enough for you to generate things that you need, this type of report that you need. Do you have all the information? So most of the challenges with the organization that they have a lot of data, but they do not know how to process that data, usually. Yeah. But of course, because their company do not know how to, or they do not have the analytic features also. Yeah. And you know, in 2025, Australia has made it mandatory for any company to produce a sustainability report. Yeah, this means ERP, all the ERP has to be customized now to include a sustainable data, the ability to pull out this data. Yeah, and then to predict changes, general triggers. So you have discussed about triggers before, like how do you know when things are not going well? How do you know that this is not completing or indicating that there's a broken fit, there's something wrong with the updates? You need that triggers. You need to customize those triggers. Like you key in the wrong thing, what is the control available for you to put in? Yeah, if you do not have that, maybe it's time to change. Okay. So at the problem scope, you look at the system development scope, the aims, the coverage, who will be affected, which department will be affected by this change, or maybe benefited from this change, and then priority level, project outcomes, no variance once the project begun. Some project, they can't wait. It must be done, and hopefully we will cover that during tutorial, yeah, next week. So there's another part that they look into at the investigation stage, they look at the feasibility. How many of you have assessed this for you, even for you? For example, you want to take this course. Is it feasible for you? That now you have already taken so many courses. Is it feasible for you? Can you afford it? Afford it means here not necessarily in terms of money alone, but whether you have the capacity to study and also gain a very good result for that course. You do this feasibility study sometimes, yeah? And like when you select where you're going to live, can you afford with this salary or with this income? Can you afford to pay rental and also have a very good quality social life in that sense, all right? And then this is steering committee. A lot of projects without steering committee have been shown to be failed, all right? So you need someone to sit in the governance role, and steering committee will act as a governance mechanism for any system development project. They would decide on this, whether or not there should be a member of the team sit in the meeting, cross-function meeting, or whether they would allocate specific resources for certain talents or requirements, and then they would give you the project approval. So it's a little bit like approval workflow. Yeah. For example, you have crossed the budget for this year, but you still need to go further, or else you can't progress. It could be due to the price changes with the supplier, etc. So you send approval, require approval from them, and if they approve, then you progress. Yeah. Without their approval, without their support, that would be difficult. So now we are at the analysis stage, where we gather, analyze, and document, validate, and prioritize requirement. Yeah, we do two things in this stage. You analyze the system, and you do requirement analysis. You have done this for your group assignment, did you? Very hard to say. Yeah? You study the current system. You look into their weaknesses, and then you look at the future outlook for the company. If the company wants a certain thing and current system cannot deliver, you are doing system analysis. Yeah, you understand where are the parts that needed to be improved. Is it something that can be done with the current system, or with a few tweaks, or you need to modify the whole system, yeah, or the way of the workflow. All right. Then you specify what the new system will need to do, because the current system cannot deliver what the company needs. Yeah. So how you do this? You do process map, you do logical and physical data flow diagram, and you use system flow charts. Yeah. All right. For the requirement analysis, you do a little bit more. You sit with the users. Yeah. Some of you send questionnaire because sometimes user did not physically available. So you send questionnaire, you observe on the floor, you do your interviews, and you develop prototype software and packages. So you let them test it. If they're not happy with the prototype, then you can build and improve that prototype before the time for you to implement them completely. Yeah, with prototype, you can collect as many feedback as you could and minimize the error during implementation or design stage. Yeah. The design stage, where developers define the logical and physical design details based on the result from the analysis stage. Yeah, you understand now what users need. Yeah, you also understand what the current system cannot deliver and what the new system can deliver, and does it fit to purpose, and then therefore you can start designing the logical aspect and the physical aspect of it. Yeah, so you need to work backward. You need to understand what this system, for example, we have several users coming from different departments. You need to talk to this user what sort of report that you need, and then you work backward in the workflow to identify what sort of input that will be good and be able to deliver the output that the users require. Yeah, for example, in accounting, we require several reports. For example, we need to know about the financial statements. We need to have a management report. Production team probably need a cost analysis report. They probably need WIP report, invoice costing report. They need all these things, material listing. So you need to understand how to design, logically design the system to deliver what each of these users need. This is why normally with the system development, we work with a system of interest. We can't be doing everyone's interest. You get what I'm saying? So we go very specific. This is why also we have so many other apps, and the only thing that we can do is connect those apps. Yeah, because when you picked up a project, you can't be dealing with everyone's need. You have to be specific, and this is how you control the cost and also control the success rate. If you are dealing with the sales department, sometimes their focus are a little bit different from the inventory or warehouse department's focus. So sometimes it's best for us just to focus on purchasing system, or we focus on warehouse management system. Yeah, even for warehouse, sometimes they have a separate function between warehouse management and inventory management system. So you need to know this. Is it wise to cater to everyone at the same time? It might prolong the project's timeline. All right. So this is why agile method now has become very much preferred. We're going to talk about agile method later, but it's towards the end. It's a consider alternative approaches, yeah. And this is a design where you decide on the storage mechanism. You look at the flow of the data, and this is why you have done all this. You need to know where you store the data. Is this the right way of doing things? Is it efficient? Is there anything that you want to critique about this, the way the company has done or store their data? Yeah, and about the technical design, it's about hardware, technical resources, and user interface. You have used SAP interface. SAP Fiori is SAP interface. How do you feel about that, having tiles in the SAP interface? You know tiles? Yeah, where you see manage your stock, etc. Is it easier? Or do you prefer to see listing? Chart of accounts mostly listing, yeah? Do they have tiles now for chart of account? No, right? Yeah. So is it tiles more convenient for you? User friendly? Do you need smaller tiles or bigger tiles? That's a issue for in future, yeah. But before SAP Fiori using tiles, there were no tiles before. But based on the user feedback, they developed that design. All right. Okay. So design approval. The design must be approved before progressing to the next stage. And you probably recommended to develop a prototype to assist with the user visualization of the system. You have seen the self-checkout counter, yeah, in Coles, Woolies, and Aldi. No, Aldi do not have. Do they have it now? Aldi? They do now? Okay. They're quite hesitate to adopt that technology, yeah, because there's a value to hiring people. Maybe, I'm not sure. So what they have, like, they would develop that prototype early for the decision maker to experience it. If the decision maker not happy with it, it cannot go through. Yeah? Or users, they probably do group focus study and just testing several people. Can they use this? Yeah. All right. Designers and users must reach a mutual agreement on the finalized design. Yeah. If they do not reach an agreement, there's going to be a chaos later. They're going to be having a conflict. Yeah. And once the design is approved, no further changes should be made. How many of you keep making changes when we say we're going to submit now? I am also guilty of that. This is a perfectionist part of us. But the thing is, with the privatizations, yeah, with the private company, they deal with the cost-effective timeline. Certain thing, you realize this, with academic, there's no such thing. If it's not perfect, you can't accept the work. You can't even associate it with this work. Yeah? But with the private, when they set the deadline, by who or by who you will send on that day. If there are flaws associated with that submitted work, you have to deal with it later. It has to be done. It must be done on the date that they're given us. With the academic, you call and ask for extension because poor quality work is not acceptable in academic. It's quite a different way of doing things. Yeah. Before this, I was coming from industry, so I'm not used to the way of academic doing things. You can't be changing things for 100 times, but that's what we did with our thesis. They will refuse to accept it if it's not according to the standard that they uphold. With the private, that's it. You submit and you answer to it later. Yeah. So it's quite a different way of doing things. If you're not ready to edit your work, thousands of times, academy is not for you. Yeah, people break down because of this. Yeah, all right. So what company do? So usually they will send RFP to the selected vendors. SAP has this. Yeah, and quotation also considered as a RFP for our exercise. Yeah. In outline, system specification, company details and problems to obtain the steering committee final approval on the design and vendor. So we have submitted approval for every single stage, and now we have finalized the design and we have selected the vendor. And how many of you have selected SAP as your vendor for your course assignment? Easy. Sarini mentioned SAP. Why don't we just do SAP? Yeah. But some of you managed to go beyond that. That's very good. That shows that very thorough work. But just to show you, there are more providers out there. You have to look into those diversity and the different criteria that will actually be able to facilitate your company further. In this case, the kind back. Yeah. It's okay for you not to be one of those in the mainstream. It's fit to purpose, remember? You have to have a system and technology that fit for you, not for everybody else. I used to have this conversation last weekend with a couple of my friends. Yeah, their son did not want to eat veggies. Their son do not want to eat vegetable, and they asked for recommendation, advice from other people, and then they shared that with me. Tough love. They said they have to use tough love. That means they have to force the kid to eat it. I said that what works for other people does not necessarily work for you, for your family. You have to figure out the best way to do this. Some family, tough love works, some family not. And by the way, if the kids say no to you, that indicates healthy relationship. Do you know that? If they are afraid of that person, they will not say no. Yeah, it's quite fascinating how human minds work. I did not know this. Yeah, so when I got time to read, I read a lot. And by the way, this is going to drop a bomb for you, which I think a lot of people are going to create. Actually, you're going to not be okay with this, especially Erling. Do you know that genius DNA transferred from mother mRNA to the kids? Do you know that? That's how strong the DNA, genius DNA coming from the mother, it will be passed down to kids. So before everyone jumping into arguing this, let's process that first. That also highlight the importance for women to have education. One. Second, if you are into having a family in future, select your partner well. Makes sense? Makes sense. We learn from the science. We don't reject the science. So it's very important for you to empower women because future generation depends on the DNA of their genius DNA. Yeah? So if you have daughters, train your daughters well. Yeah? Makes sense? So you read beyond your topic so that you can learn further. I can share so many other things also, but sometimes it's not relevant to this course, so I can't. All right? Yeah, it's not a sexist, it's font science. Go look for it. But of course, we have researchers start looking into more detail on this. I'm sure we're going to be updated with more scientific findings about how human brains work, etc., etc. Okay, where this is implementation. This is where the real things happen. The system is running, up and running, and then this is where you do the testing and deployment of the software, and you finally see things come to picture. Yeah, you can start using it now. So this is about building the physical environment required for the new system. You establish the data storage facility if this is something that you need to do. Some of you maybe just require cloud. Did you mention that in your group assignment? All right, complete any required programming, install the system, yeah, and conduct the testing. Testing is very important. According to the research done with the success and failure projects, they realized that testing is necessary. If you do adequate testing, it will reduce the failure rate for the system development projects. If you are so quick to run it without do a proper testing, then usually it will lead to disaster. Yeah. So this is just showing that how important the preparation is for everyone, even for us individuals. Yeah, in the implementation stage, we look into the network and database, and also programs. You can actually look into the modifying the existing program. Or the interesting enough, in the group assignment, I mentioned one of the system has the capability to be integrated. Remember? If you are thinking about throwing that system, I hope you justify. Yeah, all right. And then in-house developed programs, some companies can afford to do this and they have the right talents for it, might as well go and develop them themselves, all right. And in the testing is to make sure that new and old system can operate with the same results. Or if you're thinking about generating new reports, you better focus on that too, yeah. So this is, you can test with the actual or live data, or you can actually you pull out a sample and test it just to see whether they can produce the same thing. So sometimes they just key in a bogus invoice number, and then they see whether it will actually flow to the journal entry, and then it can be processed to the payment, yeah, just to see whether it's really working. And these are the 3 conversion approaches for the system development projects, yeah. Direct conversion saying that, okay, this today is the last day for you to use this system. Tomorrow we're going to use new system. Very abrupt change. How many of you have experienced this? Did they phase you in? If they phase you in, it's using parallel conversion. They say that, okay, next month we're going to use the new system and take all the time you need, but next month we're going to change. But with the phase-in conversion, yeah, parallel conversion, usually it takes 6 months and it can last to 3 years. Yeah, because they refuse to let go. Did you experience this in your company that you have worked with before? When they're trying to introduce something new, they refuse to let go. It's just not friendly. Sometimes they say the system is not friendly. They can't. It's a bit complicated, and etc. So this is why you need to study the social demography of your users. If they have a certain biasness to a specific age group, you really need to cater to the need of the age group. Okay. Okay. So phase-in is gradual implementation. Parallel conversion is when you're running 2 systems at one time, and it costs the company. It can cost the company because the migration of data. And if some of them refuse to go into the new system and keep going to the old system, and migration will continue and continue, and sometimes how long you're going to use this? We have to go and say, how long you're going to use this? It's time for you to move on, all right? Yeah. So with my culture, sometimes I use this example just to make it easier for everyone to understand. In my culture, we don't date. Do you date before you get married? Or is it something that's very common for your culture? We don't date. We straight away get married, direct conversion. Shock to the system. Tomorrow, got married, living with new person. What is this? Direct conversion. Okay? So, phase in, using dating period to get to know each other and then get married. Phase in, getting used to the idea. Some of you live together, getting used to the idea. All right? Parallel, doing 2 things at the same time. So this is something that you can actually apply in real life too. Okay? Right, now we add the maintenance and review, the last one. Okay? This is where you regularly maintain what you have. How many of you have gone to the restaurants that you like and suddenly it doesn't taste the same? They have not done their regular maintenance and review. Yeah? The cook probably have left with the recipes. Yeah? So here where you monitor the performance of the current system or the upgraded system, you update if necessary and you fix it if required. That means you have to go through the SDLC process again. If you decided to fix the error, you have to go through that process again because it's considered a new upgrade. Okay. So overall, let's see if it's not if anything not been mentioned before. All right. So this the advantage of this method, it has a controlled and structured methodology. It can minimize error and or unauthorized changes. Unauthorized changes is something that we do not want to be dealing with when we already have so many tasks and workload. Yeah. The advantages is the amount of time required. Sometimes for you to wait for approval from the steering committee can take very, very long because they're not happy with it and you have to do some other modification and so that they will approve the project or whatever that you are thinking of progressing to the next. Yeah. So this is based on the implementation lesson learned from the 44 companies that have been researched. They found that this is the recommendation they can offer to the company who's thinking about system development or system upgrade in future. The fact that you have to use vanilla approach. Vanilla approach is when you, what do you think about vanilla ice cream? Sorry? Basic. Everyone likes vanilla. Anyone here do not like vanilla? Oh, senior, you also are so outlier, yeah? So vanilla is very safe, right? Safe flavor. Everyone can connect with vanilla because it's white or off-white, yeah? Safe flavor to go at any gathering. It's basically like this. Vanilla approach means that it's standard, basic. You can start with vanilla first, vanilla module, if you're not happy with what we provide. And then slowly we bring you to more customized approach. Scope creep. Scope creep happens to me all the time. Sometimes I say that I want to just do this, but then I end up doing 3 things. With the project management, you have to really narrow it down specific to certain aims and objectives. That's it. You can't go and look beyond. This is not the time. My husband always say, this is not the time for this. I can't. Yeah? So this is something that you can learn from social science research as well. So all these things you can apply to the real life. I'm going to show you a few conflicts later, a few challenges that you can also apply, okay? I think several companies have experienced failure with the system development or system upgrade because they do not understand culture of the people in their organization. They don't understand the complexity of this segment, business segment, and they thought that they can use what other people use. If your business segments are working differently from other company, you can't simply adopt the most standard module from any service provider. You really need to think about it, yeah? And you need to, did you actually refer to past successful and failed projects in your group assignment? Oh, thank God. Well, it will be very useful for you, not for me, for you. If you are the one who did that, if you actually go out and lead a project later, it will help you, not me. I'm done. My life is here. But for you, you're going to try something new, something interesting in future, probably lead a section, lead a team. So this is the thing that you need to be able to inspire or actually share with your team members, okay? But make sure to do adequate testing, okay? Like before you go for the date or before you go for something really important, didn't you try several, what was that? You would try different kind of makeup, you would try to put a different suits, and try the attire just to make sure that you get the right vibe, yeah, for the event, yeah. So you must do adequate testing for your system as well. So this is the ethical consideration, okay. For management, they have they own the information, they have access to the information, but others might not have. But because they're having more information, they have more motivation to mislead us. You get what I'm saying? They know you do not know, so they just say about anything. And sometimes when about the system, they can actually introduce some features that we do not know. So this is talking about their consideration. yeah, transparency in decision making, yeah, and data security and privacy compliance. They must be able to protect sensitive financial data and comply with the regulation. Knowing what they know, they might not choose to comply, yeah, and you wouldn't know because you do not have that kind of access to the data or information, yeah. Prevent conflicts of interest. Avoid system design choices that favor persons or personal or departmental gains over integrity. You need to be fair. You need to be transparent. You need to be ethical in your system design process. All right? So how many of you design a system just because you know nobody knows? They wouldn't know if it's crap. Even it's crap, you wouldn't know because, you know, there's a saying about that. It's okay, they say they do not know. All right? So here with the employees, the key ethical responsibility would be honest data entry. You were a bit upset with your boss, yeah? So just keying. And then, you know, at the store, sometimes there's a bit of problem with the system. They just say, go, it's all right, it's all right. Or at the ticketing, I always witness this at the ticketing. They couldn't be bothered to check anyone anymore. You just say, just come in, just come in. Yeah? So honest data entry, as an employee, you should ensure financial transactions are recorded accurately and without omission of alterations. Yeah? Following system control, added to the AI's protocol that prevent unauthorized changes or fraudulent activity. I used to be in charge of petty cash box, yeah, and sometimes I have staff that coming in. This is a bit conflicting, yeah, because I used to be very friendly with them, but because I was friendly with them, they thought they can ask anything from that box. And it's it's putting me in a very difficult situation because I don't want to offend them. They will say that, so I need a $10, I would need, I was like, oh, I can't, yeah. There's a certain procedure to it, and it's only for something that you have spent and for the benefits of the company, not because you don't bring cash today. All right, so safeguarding confidential information. Avoid sharing sensitive financial data outside of authorized channels. By the way, there are more, but I'm only able to put about 3, yeah, because of the space limitation. So you can actually explore on this. And for consultant, what would be the ethical issue or problem for consultants? Just like I said, that they do not know, we know. So we can just give them an expensive package. Seriously, sometimes people are having different motivation, right? And you need to have a very good number in the KPI. So there's a lot of things that you need to look at about ethical considerations. So here, probably that I can suggest, objective system development should be designed for accuracy and compliance. Avoid having bias towards specific interests. Yeah. Ethical data access policy, consultants should only access financial record within the scope of their engagement. Just because you have access doesn't mean you can walk around and look into our data that not relevant to this. For example, I call the IT about something wrong with the quiz because you reported to me, and they go around and look into the grades, your grades, and look into your group assignment submission. This is not something that I ask you. You should have this. Yeah, you should understand your responsibility, your ethical responsibility to students and also the users. Yeah, and then transparent recommendation. Consultants should advise on the best practice rather than recommending solution based on personal financial incentive. You have to be careful. We are dealing with the information asymmetry here. You do not know as much as they do, and they can just suggest anything to you. This is why you need to do your own research. Yeah, and it's very important. Once you have engaged a certain consultant, you understand their values as well. All right. Why do business invest in IS even though the failure rate is also high? Why do you have your devices even though it's expensive? Is it not expensive? Your parents bought it for you? You have to understand, yeah, we have a different generation in this class, yeah. Some of you might feel offended when I say that, some of you not, because it's never been the other way around. So you have to understand, don't be offended with whatever I say, because I'm dealing with quite diverse age group here. Yeah? Why are you having a device there? Is it not expensive? Exactly, the return outweigh the cost. Yeah? This is why people would jump into IS development no matter what, because the potential return could be so high for it. Okay? Okay? The CFO won't speak up. Oh, yeah? All right? So these are the other models used in practice. As you mentioned this, yeah, this is the other way. So the agile way is quite famous now. I'm sure you cover this in your course, other courses, and the fact that it will be manageable to some, and especially small to medium-sized company, is something that much easier for them to manage in terms of if there are errors. They're also in terms of focus, it will be very useful. Yeah. So this is a case study review. This is from ING, Netherlands. It's an insurance company. Yeah. So what happened is, let me see. They need to improve the IT services for the company, and he decided to adopt the agile system development approach rather than the costly traditional waterfall approach used in the past. Yeah, this initiative was highly successful. Project cycle time decreased from 3 to 6 months to 6 to 9 weeks. That's awesome. That's really drastically increase the cost saving. Yeah. Cost saving in software delivery range from 30 to 50%. Technical incidents were sometimes reduced by over 30%. To top off these successes, employee satisfaction and collaboration improved, and management and employee work closely together. So only you can figure out what works for your team and for your department and also for your company. Yeah? Others might have some ideas, but you know your structure. You know the layout of your company. You understand the culture. And if this is new to you, you have to study the culture, get to know the people, understand the policy of the company, understand their values. You can simply straight away can tell when you actually talk to some of them. Yeah? All right. These are the type of accounting packages. Some of you have done this for your group assignment, so I'm not going to talk about this. Similarly with the software as a service, what we use for our SAP exercise is a software as a service. So we pay for the subscription fees where we get access to the software, also the server. All right. All right. These are typical challenges. This is an area that probably you probably resonate with. Some of you have experienced this, even with the smallest project as group assignment. Don't you have conflict among you? Don't you experience conflict? Wow, Xin, you really outlier, yeah? Yeah? Okay, look at that. Users and designers approach the project differently. This is true. They wanted specific, programmers, they have certain ideas about, they have certain pride about their creation. But the thing is, we want to work, and we want to work efficiently, all right? So, the successful project must be able to unite these different or diverse perspectives, all right? Escalation of commitment. Escalation commitment, the best example I can give you is bad relationship. Do you understand that? Bad relationship is when you know it's not working anymore. It's not giving you the right return, but you refuse to leave. Or you can't leave. So that escalation of commitment. When you know things should be abandoned, but you refuse to abandon it, and it could be because of this. You justify the time that you have invested in this project. You justify the time or invested efforts in this relationship. Same, all right? Prospect theory, yeah? You unwilling to take the risk, yeah? And then agency theory. The person in charge of the project has the information asymmetry over the organization higher level. You are not clear what's out there for you. You are not clear whether this is the right thing to do because you do not have enough information. Yeah, so collect the right information. Moving on, project goals, issues. Some of you have a different things in mind. Some of you want to do this, some of you want to do that. You want to achieve a different thing. But we are one team. You know what? This is not happen in your class. Yeah, it happens in previous semesters. I have a group emailing me about how to say this. There was a conflict in the group. The fact that they have decided internal deadline between themselves, but nobody can commit to that. Only one person, the coordinator. So the coordinator want me to mark her differently from the group members. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I said, how to mark you differently? When you as a team, must understand that only one deadline matters here. Deadline to me. I'm your client now. And you telling me you have done your work, etc., etc. Your team member never respond. How is that your client issue? We want the product. We don't want to listen to your conflicts. We want to see the end product. You see here? Yeah, it did not happen in your class, so don't worry. All right? Yeah, but I'm just telling you, sometimes you need to be very aware about this. You could be dealing with a lot of issues here in the one big team, all right? So technical skills, need to assess the existing technical expertise. Okay, I'm really good at this. I know which team member to pick up because I'm usually very observant, yeah? So the first 2-3 gathering, I will observe and observe. I know what you're good at. Definitely. So if there is a certain project, I will put specific people into specific project. Some people are just good at talking, but they are useful anyway. They will facilitate and lubricate everything. Yeah? In terms of social interaction, you send these people. They will make way for us. But technical aspect, out. Yeah? But they are useful to us. Yeah? You need to know where and when to place your team member so that you can actually harvest them the most optimal, yeah, based on their expertise. Yeah, interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skill is probably the only skill that I think would actually help you. Yeah, if anything goes wrong. Do you agree with this? You matters. You, how you bring yourself, how you treat others, how you communicate with others. That's the only thing will carry you outside your technical expertise. Yeah. So sometimes we have this expression of interest coming from students or from external, and we, of course, we want to that you meet that specific level, at least bare minimum in terms of technical expertise. But having the right interpersonal skill will actually carry you very, very far. Yeah, so use the tutorial, use the lecture to build this slowly. Yeah, is the way. I mean, how many of you get job based on your networking alone? Because you don't talk to anyone. You need to talk to anyone. Yeah. Okay. Well, we had a consultant coming in last week, yeah? which is my husband. Anyway, did you know my husband has vacancy in his office? Did you go and talk to him? Let him know that you're also looking? You don't. You need to talk to anyone that you meet. Have this very open conversation. Sometimes the setting that we have with them outside office environment actually show who we are. Yeah, so people feel comfortable because they don't see incentive coming from you. They don't see intention, purpose, intention. It's just you, and it's very raw you. And if it's what they see is what they like, yes. So I used to hire people out of chatting them up at the supermarket. Yes. So I happened to meet this lady, and then we talk, and then She said she's having accounting background, blah, blah, blah. I said, where do you go to? And then she expand on that. Oh, interesting. So I dig further, because I already know what I'm looking for, but she doesn't know what I'm looking for. So this tick, can you send a resume to me? And I said, okay, yeah, just send to me. There's an offer coming up, so just see whether this is for you. Yeah, because there are certain things I'm looking for. When she mentioned that, tick. Oh, I don't have to go and advertise now. Saving me all the trouble, right? Okay? All right. So, guys, I think that's it. I know some of you are very, very tired. You can read that further. All right? Unfortunately, tomorrow we're going to be doing some very technical tutorial. I can't make it easier for you there. Last week, yes, but maybe next semester I will try to think about how can I make it easier for week 10 tutorial. Yeah, it's too late for me to do it for you, but every semester will benefit from the previous semester, revision for me lah. I tend to revise every semester, pathway, workflow, and then see whether how can I make it easier. So Lego last week, based on my few semester thinking about how can I make it students' life easier, but also in a way that they still can capture some of the things I want them to capture, you know. So I would think about week 10, given that everybody is so busy on week 10. Yeah. If you're too tired, maybe you can cover only one or two questions, because the solution will be there for you. It's just that whether you understand or not, that's another thing. All right. Okay. Are you all right, darling? Oh, yeah. You look very tired. I know everyone very tired. But one more week for us, and after that, just final exam things. Okay. All right. See you tomorrow for your class. Yeah. Thank you. All right. No worries. All right. Yeah. Here, yes, CX. Why?